Once again, welcome back to Netflix football after a day of interval because I needed some rest. Body was not quite alright. Ronald Koeman seems to be under pressure a lot. It was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last week. He has redeemed his ways. An impressive win coming back from West Ham with a superb save. Of course, I'll not talk about that much because this is the agenda on FC Barcelona and their managerial credentials, and we'll try to introduce a lot more which is going on behind the scenes. It's not open to common eyes because there is a lot of things that is indeed going on. We have a very special guest as usual, the most talented, the most, let's say, will not say not controversial, but he enjoys what he says about it. Let's welcome Prashant Bhau on screen. Bhau, how have you been?
I am good, man. How are you? I was just wondering what you just said. I think the pressure is never out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but yeah, Koeman is the man for at least today, as long as he survives. So let's see.
Like all the pundits have a new agenda and someone to pick on at this moment of
Yeah.
time. I'm glad it's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for the moment because I've run out of battling and keyboard fighting with all these people. Anyways, the agenda is Ronald Koeman. Let's go back to when he was appointed. People said that he knew the Barcelona DNA. He was established, having done a very good job at Southampton, having done a very good job at Everton. But since when he came on, including the last few months, we'll talk about the transfer season a bit later. What were the initial impressions for him that when he took over from Valverde, the club was heading in the right direction, wasn't it?
I don't think the club was heading in right direction right from the time of Valverde, because even after Valverde, they had Quique Setien, right, for a brief period of time, I think till August.
Right.
And then in August, Ronald Koeman came in.
Right.
So if you ask me, from Luis Enrique, they have only gone down. You know, if I look at Barcelona managerial tenure to a certain extent, it was Frank Rijkaard who started the two La Ligas. Then came Pep Guardiola. Tito Villanova had one good season and one La Liga, and then was Gerard Martino. Then you had Luis Enrique, where Barca again got that MSN back and they were all in form and all those kind of stuff. Then came Valverde, who won them two La Ligas, one Copa del Rey, one Spanish Super Cup, etc. Then came Quique Setien and then Ronald Koeman. After Enrique, everything has been downfall. So my initial reaction when Ronald Koeman joined Barcelona was, I was like, really, how lucky is this guy? He keeps getting big jobs all the time, because I'm a Netherlands fan for years now, and he has screwed the entire Netherlands national system so much that they had to bring back Louis van Gaal from retirement to manage all over again. Okay, that was Ronald Koeman's defense. Yes, he does have the Barca DNA. He does have all those kind of things. He's the most successful defender in Champions League history for scoring 100 odd goals, and the most high scoring defender in Champions League, right? So all that is aside, but him managing Barcelona was a bit of a joke for me, considering when Zidane had left Real Madrid, Simeone had just won the league. Who's the closest to challenge them all? It is Barcelona. And who do they bring? Ronald Koeman. And also, I don't agree with you that Ronald Koeman had a great tenure at Everton. He was pretty shambolic. That Everton team, I think they only qualified for the Europa League, but he was given a large budget to spend on many players. I think he spent some 150, 200 million for the Lukaku sale and etc. So he didn't do well. And remember, he was sacked from Everton.
Right.
Okay, it was not that he left. So, overall, I don't rate Ronald Koeman as a manager at all. And yeah, great player, great footballer, probably one of the most iconic players Champions League has ever seen. But is he the man to take Barca forward? No chance. Especially not with the players what they have and club. How they're going in.
Right. Srijan says Koeman is the greatest manager to ever live. Koeman in. He says Ayush says Pirlo to Barcelona, not happening at all. So Srijan, message to Srijan, it's like he's copy pasting from the Ole thing. Like he saw somewhere Ole is the greatest. Like set a greatest agenda, but nothing to Srijan. It's a very good mate. Of course, coming into the transfer market, like this season especially, they sold.
Yeah.
They let go of Messi. We know that wasn't under Ronald Koeman's control. Bringing in Memphis Depay, to me, was a smart signing considering his age, considering his performances, and considering his value. That was nothing. It was a very smart signing. But he went on and then again bought Sergio Aguero, or Sergio Aguero was bought in, if I can rephrase my sentence. Emerson
Hmm.
Royal bought in and sold, made quite a laughing stock out of that deal altogether.
Yeah.
Then brings in Luke de Jong with Martin Braithwaite and sells Antoine Griezmann, who probably I thought that since Messi left, that was his position to fill what he had always played as a withdrawal forward, as an inverted winger of that sort, as a support striker from the right, coming in from the left onto his left foot. That was
Hmm.
the most effective that Griezmann was for France as well as Atletico and Real Sociedad
Hmm.
as well. He was so brilliant in that
Correct.
position.
Yeah.
Where do you think, or do you think that are these Eric Garcia as well? Are these Ronald Koeman signings at all?
I personally think it is John Laporta's ego which is talking here big time. And over a period of time, I think Barcelona as a club has fallen big time because of their financial losses, right? I mean, they haven't ever recovered. And on top of it, the whole Messi scenario happened a year back, and then Messi happened this year. By the time they could register him, he was already on his way out and then moved to Paris. I think the biggest surprise for me in terms of the signing, apart from the names you mentioned, was selling Francisco Trincao to Wolves, on a loan deal
Mm-hmm.
with an option to buy.
Right.
I'm not going to criticize Emerson Royal because they can argue and say we made 10 million profit. We got him for 12 million and we sold him for 23 odd million
Mm-hmm.
to Spurs. So that's still 10 minutes profit, 10 million profit. Junior Firpos sale to Leeds. That's another signing which I don't like. See, they are the players who I think could have formed a base for rebuild for Barcelona,
Right.
and they just sold him. Right? Emerson Royal could have definitely been kept. I don't see there is a problem in him playing a right back at all, considering the kind of team what they have. Yes, Memphis Depay is a smart signing. He's 27, 28, free agent. You are right when saying that signing Sergio Aguero is whole a messy saga rather than they wanting him. Luke de Jong, another loan deal. I honestly don't know what is the kind of a manager's role at Barcelona when he can't get the players what he wants. Half of the signings are basically loan are basis ego signings. There is no logic to any of the players they signed. They've got what, three strikers now: Luke de Jong, obviously Sergio Aguero is not for Memphis Depay. Okay, and who do they throw in yesterday? They're playing Gerard Piqué up front. Really? I mean, you're playing Granada and you're putting Gerard Piqué as your plan option B at up front. I honestly don't know what the club is up to right now, to a certain extent. But I do see the sense of what Ronald Koeman is trying to build. But it's going to be very hard for him. And football is a dirty business. It's brutal. You have to start delivering, or else you're off, man. And I don't see Ronald Koeman.
Bhau, I think your sound went. No, it's all right. It's all right. Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, clear. They
Yeah.
talk about Ronald Koeman not surviving the week or maybe days or hours as it stands, but there is indeed a lobby at Barcelona which has been lobbying for Xavi since Keke Setien was sacked and Ronald Koeman came in. That was a comparison on my mind that at least Xavi, he knows the Barca DNA. Obviously, very successful player, golden covered career with FC Barcelona and Spain. But don't you think rather that Ronald Koeman at that position would have been made more sense? But then again, after Ronald Koeman, do you think Xavi would be coming in and with this squad, the squad doesn't make sense at all, to be very fair, to be very frank. How does Xavi I'll not say Eric Ten Hag because he signed a new contract with Ajax and he's up on a project over there. How does he improve this team?
I think out of my sheer ego and the sheer hatred to some of the keyboard warriors, and but I really want Xavi Hernandez to come and manage Barcelona, and actually, and these fans to understand how hard it is when an ex-player comes and manages your club. Okay, and especially a hero or a legend managing a team which is completely broken, which is completely shattered. There is no team, similar to what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was facing when he joined. The team was broken. No one wanted to play for him because they were not sure of him. Jose Mourinho had left a very disjointed squad. I want Xavi to come and just see the scenario and then realize what exactly is happening. And then these Barcelona fans will realize that it is hard to be a manager. It is not as easy as what people think, that come and criticize. And okay, having said that, I'm not the biggest advocate of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing, but just to make them understand. Now, coming to your question, can Xavi be successful in this kind of a setup? it's 50-50, man. Sometimes, when these kind of managers walk in, you want to prove a point to someone, saying that, okay, what, Xavi is the manager. Let's say you are someone like a Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba has played with him. Xavi knows Jordi Alba to a certain extent, and they've been great friends on and off the field as well. He would have a newfound vigor to prove that, you know what, I'm not that bad. I want to prove it all over again. I want to start all over again. You can, you can kind of say that. And on the other side, there is someone like Frank de Jong, who would also take the motivation that, you know what, this is like my idol. I want to play like him. I want to play for him. It can work in that manner.
Right.
Then there is another aspect to that, when there is someone like a Sergio Aguero, who himself is not fit. Okay, poor guy keeps getting injured. One of the best strikers in Premier League has ever seen. There is no two ways or disrespect about it. But he's injured half the time. Will he have the enough motivation to start all over again? A lot of people say that Xavi can command the dressing room with a lot of motivating players. I think Srijan commented that motivating players.
Yes.
You are only as good as what your players are, man.
Right.
You can be probably the biggest legend of your club. If your players don't like you, then no matter how many trophies you have won all your life, you can keep it in your cupboard, polish it. Because the players sometimes don't buy into just a player because he's a manager. It's hypothetically, I'm saying, imagine tomorrow if, let's say, someone like a Paul Pogba becomes a manager. Great player, but do you want to play for him? You don't know, right? Similar is the case with Xavi. He's managing in a Gulf kind of a country. Football is not that competitive there. No disrespect to the people who play there, but it's not as competitive as La Liga is. I'm not even going to how competitive it's Bundesliga or Premier League.
But from the Gulf to FC Barcelona, one of the very most difficult teams to manage for reasons off and on and off the pitch.
Impossible. It's not impossible. Remember, there was a man from Japanese Premier League who came into Premier League and managed and probably made one of the best teams in Premier League by the name of Arsene Wenger. Right? He did that. It is not impossible. People have done that multiple times. But the question will be, rather than you asking me, the question will be to Xavi thinking, do you want to go back and put your legacy at stake?
Right.
Because if you go back there and you put your legacy at stake, things can go haywire, right?
We saw that with Lampard, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, with Lampard, yes and no, because he's gone to Chelsea. That club is ruthless. No matter if you're Frank Lampard or Antonio Conte or Carlo Ancelotti, etc., you don't win, you're off. That's a different story altogether. But I hear what you're saying, that right. The legacy, to a certain extent, is gone. Super Frank is still the Super Frank as a player, but if someone asks how was his managerial tenure, they will say no. And if you ask that to Antonio Rudiger will say, I don't care about him. So it's a bit of hit and miss for him. So similar, I think no, Xavi should not go to Barcelona and manage. I think someone experienced has to come and take the reins of that club, because as much as we don't like the club, it's very sad to see Barcelona at such state, because it's probably one of the most royal clubs in world football, apart from the likes of Real Madrid, because for every Premier League player, it was always the next step, right? Imagine someone like a Luis Suarez or a Philippe Coutinho. They always said that going to La Liga, especially playing for these clubs, is a big step up in their career. And that's when they wanted to play. And right now, when I look at Barcelona, I'm like, I don't know who's more shit. It's United or you. So...
All right. Let me rephrase that sentence, that we do not hate FC Barcelona. We just hate those fans who have been prolonging their existence with the club and now have probably shifted their allegiances to some random league not in the top 5. But that is a different topic of banter for someday else. Then again, Barcelona, as you say, football royalty, masculine club with all the story, Joan Gamper, with how they were formed. It is absolutely, you're right. They are footballing royalty along with their rivals Real Madrid. It was the next step. But I'll come to you on your point, especially that, like Srijan has said, Xavi can command the dressing room. The players would want to give everything for him. Managing Barcelona is a big pressure, of course, but whom do you see available? Antonio Conte is available. That has been a name that is mooted. But do you think Antonio Conte, who had so much brawls with the Inter board, that's not even half as devious as the Barcelona board that has been going on in recent days? Let's accept that Joan Laporta is no, let's say, what we call in Bengali Dhoa Tulsi Pata, or a saint, in other words. There are shady things happening in there. You and I both know, even Barcelona fans know that. So do you think Antonio Conte, although he's a brilliant manager, is a very ambitious manager, would you think he would take this? He did not take on the Spurs project because they did
Correct.
not promising signings. Would he even take the
I
Barcelona
was
job?
about to tell you the same thing. Antonio Conte means fireworks,
Right.
in good and bad both manners, right? We all know that as Premier League fans, that when Antonio Conte walked into the Premier League, everyone looked at Chelsea and they were like, what is he going to do, etc., etc. But and then Antonio Conte played Victor Moses as right back, and then he changed the face of Premier League because he made the Chelsea team so scared to watch, right? And
Right.
Antonio Conte needs signing. He moved to Inter, of course, didn't work out with Chelsea, etc., etc. And then he moved to Inter Milan, won the league. They were scrambling and scratching, and God knows what they were doing. But then he made them on the league, got the players what he wanted, especially someone who played left wing at United, left back at United, got him to play and made him a champion in Serie A, which is Ashley Young. Antonio Conte needs signings. Barcelona right now cannot afford to pay a light bill, and they are not going to promise Antonio Conte any signings what they want. And which also brings me to another point, that why would Antonio Conte want to go at Barcelona, a club who's not even hungry to win? That club is not hungry to win. Right now, their club's only biggest priority is to sort out the financial mess what is going on, right? Antonio Conte wants to go to a club which can challenge to win. One of the reasons why he chosen Spurs was he apparently assumed that KEANE would be sold and there would be enough money and that can be put into the transfer market, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so after all that, and things didn't work out, and imagine Daniel Levy and Antonio Conte as a partnership, man, that's scary.
Right.
That's actually scary, because they can very well work and very well not work.
Okay,
going to Barcelona. Sorry.
Quick question. Barca has more financial stuff than we assume right now because of the transfer season this year. Just for our viewers to get it cleared, even I am on the dark about this. Number one, do they have money at all, or do they, or they cannot spend because of the salary cap regulations? Which is the fact?
So I think they cannot spend because of the salary cap. Okay.
Right.
Apart from that, they have taken loan and debt and whatnot, etc., etc. Okay, that's fine. But the fact is, imagine, right? You have a credit card which says the limit is 1 lakh. Okay. But the fact is that you don't earn 1 lakh, but you still go out and spend 1 lakh. So when you get the bill, you're supposed to pay the 1 lakh and the interest, right? That's exactly what has happened to Barcelona, because they can spend, but can they afford to spend? No, they can't, because of the salary. If they had so much money and they had so much, other stuff, they wouldn't have let go of this guy to Lionel Messi to Paris Saint-Germain. Right? They would have signed everyone. They would have actually sacked the entire people in the club and said, "Sirf humko Messi de do, akela khelega 11 jan ke liye." वो तो नहीं है. So they have money, but they can't spend, which technically means what? You're out of the race for top players. Imagine someone like, let's say, Erling Braut Haaland is available next winter, like January.
As well as De Ligt as well, 2022.
Forget De Ligt. Forget De Ligt as of now. Just keep Haaland in picture. Okay. Imagine which clubs are going to be in the race. There will be the Manchester clubs. Okay. There will be Chelsea, definitely, who will inquire about him. Definitely Chelsea. They may not sign him, but they will inquire about him. Okay. Liverpool can inquire about him, but they don't do business of that sort. Bayern Munich will inquire about him. Real Madrid will be in pole position to sign him, etc., etc. Are you trying to say, amongst all this 7 clubs names I mentioned, are you really saying that Barcelona stand a chance to sign Erling Braut Haaland? Really? Will they bend to pay 40 million price to Mino Raiola? No, they can't afford it. And let's say he wants hypothetically somewhere around 800,000 pounds wages. Barcelona can't afford it. If they could have afforded it, they would have kept Antoine Griezmann, not to sell it to Atletico Madrid.
We've seen that. No, David Villa gone on to Atleti, they won the league. Luis Suarez went to Atleti from Barca, they won the league. Antoine Griezmann, who did not cut his hair in the entire time at FC Barcelona, cuts his hair, looks mean, and isn't this something which is repeating very much?
I didn't want to look at it that way, but since you said, yes, it's quite possible they can win the league now, and Atletico Madrid are one of the favorites to win the league apart from Real Madrid, right? I mean, if Karim Benzema continues to score for 38 games a season, I don't think there's any team in the world who can stop Real Madrid from winning the league.
Come on, Vinicius is the best player in the world right now. What are you saying? Whom are you kidding? No, he's definitely improved. He's definitely improved.
And And someone like a David Alaba has hit the ground running.
Right.
Eduardo Camavinga has hit the ground running. All those sort of stuff. When I look at that, and when I look at this Barcelona squad, I'm like, are you serious? Like, do you want to compete the league with this paper thin squad?
Mhm.
You know, so on paper, Barcelona as a squad looks like RCB, but then
Mhm.
they become RCB half the time. So
Okay, interesting question from Aman that we have already had on
yeah.
the agenda is that he wants an
Mm,
explanation how Eric Ten Hag can fit into the Ajax squad. He also says that if
mm,
talking technically in yesterday's game, Barcelona didn't have players that can play between the lines, and Koeman tactics did not focus on that. Also, to the
mm,
fact that Eric Ten Hag is just signed a recent contract to
yeah.
2023. I think he's more focused on the project at Ajax, which is developing brilliantly under the tutelage of Edwin van der Sar. Would he
Mm,
come in? That's question number one. And if,
mm,
considering if he comes in,
mm,
do you think that what the pressure, what we saw with Frank de Boer at Crystal Palace,
mm,
it's not
mm.
easy coming on from Ajax
No.
where you get extreme backup. There's no expectation other than like do good in their own league, be there in the
Correct.
Champions League. But Barcelona, as
Correct.
like Chelsea and all the top clubs and Manchester United, they're expected to win at any cost. Do you think that somewhere down the line they're in the mirage of Pep Guardiola from the 2008 season?
They still are in the mirage, man. That has never changed, and that will never change. For them, everything is the season of 07, 08, 08, 09,
Mm.
etc., etc. That's always been what is the benchmark? What is the best season? Oh yeah, the season where Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta were on fire, or the season where MSN was on fire. That has been their benchmark. Just like us as United fans, right? It's
Mhm.
always going to be Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, because that is an iconic season, and you can't take it out of the system. But the fact also remains that Pep Guardiola has left Barcelona. Football has evolved so much. Pep Guardiola himself has evolved so much. So has
Mhm.
his football. But Barcelona as a club hasn't evolved. You know, most of the tactics of Barcelona is still pass around, play around. I'm not saying it's tiki taka. It's still pass and play around, and that's probably how the youth system at Barcelona is, and that's how they have been developing. Now,
Mhm.
coming to Eric Ten Hag, Barcelona fans like attacking football. Barcelona fans like dynamic football. Eric Ten Hag is not dynamic, nor
Right.
is he attacking. He's a very calculated, methodological, very smart coach.
Mhm.
Okay, he knows which games to attack, he knows which games not to attack. There is a reason why Ajax did so well against Real Madrid, because when the game was open, Dusan Tadic ran riot against Real Madrid, because that was the kind of game which allowed Eric Ten Hag to open up the wings
Mhm. Mhm.
for Ajax. At Barcelona, when he comes to Barcelona, there is a certain pressure which he has to follow. And also think about Eric Ten Hag is someone similar to Louis Van Gaal in terms of his management. I'm not
Right.
saying he's rude. I'm not saying he's arrogant. The
Mhm.
fact is he likes his process. He likes methodology. He likes someone. He likes his team to be well drilled as a unit. Right now, when I look at Barcelona as a team, right, it's a disjointed unit. It's not a team. Okay. Eric Ten Hag, or even if you sign Jesus from Bethlehem and put it this Barcelona team, right? It's not going to solve them. What's going to solve them is first they need to take care of the financial mess, and they need to have a board
Mhm.
which actually is more concerned about winning rather than a team. Okay, yaar, abhi paisa nahi hai, abhi kya karu? Arey, main to cross sell karunga player. No, their board is not focused on winning, man. Their board is just focused on minting money,
Like
which they are not doing it.
I remember Tottenham of 2007-8. Harry
Mm,
Redknapp was coined as a wheeler dealer of buying a player and then just
yeah.
selling him on. So Emerson Royale's situation, I know a lot of Barcelona fans who were like Emerson Royale this, Emerson Royale that, and they got stuck with Sergi Roberto. I cannot understand the downfall. Like Sergio Roberto is a player I admired so much. He was very good in midfield. Then he was played all over the park and he just became lost, to be very honest. It's still a player in there. I think he'll succeed somewhere else. But there's this I don't know, lobby or something else, whatever you'd like to call it, PK, Busquets, the likes of what we say, Roberto. The
Mm,
first of all, the wages thing came in there. They had to be pressurized at gunpoint, to be honest.
mm,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Barcelona fans do
mm.
correct me. Do you think that like this lobby is what Koeman was trying to break with public, let's say, assault, to put it lightly, on these players, time and again, keeping his mind that his job is dependent as well? Do you think he would have done better had these players not been in there to start up trouble? They do start up trouble.
Uh,
Do you agree with that?
with that Barcelona team, if you put Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager, even he can win the league. Okay, if you have a team who's motivated enough, if you have a team who wants to play for the club, you put half a decent manager, you can win it. Right now, what you rightly said, they had to be pressurized, they had to make them understand, etc., etc. And I also understand from players' perspective, why should I take a pay cut? Just because you didn't manage your finances well, why should I take a pay cut? You promised me this many wages for every year. Right now, you are financially screwed. Does not mean that, you don't pay me my wages. And if you don't pay me my wages, sell me. I have no problem in it. Are they going to do that? They're not even going to do it. So I don't think players are wrong in in saying that, no, I will not take a wage cut. But yes, I also understand the human sentiment that, okay, it was COVID, fans couldn't come to the stadium, etc., etc. That's one part of it. But Ronald Koeman, if you take the name, right, I don't know. I don't know. What are you still thinking? If you talk about Barcelona as a team, okay, the historic managers of Barcelona, and if you go to Camp Nou, if you're a visiting team, you think about the names which actually gave you that kind of a scare. When you and me were fans, we saw Pep Guardiola. We have played them against Frank Rijkaard. We have played against Louis van Gaal's Barcelona. We played against Johan Cruyff's, the most successful Barcelona. We played them in '96, I think, when Bobby Robson was the manager.
Yes.
We played them when Terry Venables was the manager,
Yes.
where he won a La Liga in, I think it's 84, 86 something. We played them in Menotti's time, which was 83, 84 season.
Brian
so
Robson
on and so forth.
Masterclass.
Correct. Brian Robson Masterclass. We played them during Helenio Herrera's time, where they won a Copa del Rey or whatever. One trophy is what he could do. But obviously, great managers who instilled that fear as a rival fan, right? But right now, when you tell me, right, Ronald Koeman, manager of Barcelona, I laugh. I'm like, really, Ronald Koeman of all the people. It's just like when we heard that Rafa Benitez managing Newcastle. You're like, Rafa Benitez, the man who's won the Champions League, manager who managed Real Madrid, manager who managed Liverpool, big guy, right? He's managing where? Newcastle, now Everton.
But tell me quickly, how much control does Ronald Koeman have at Barcelona, and how much control will the new manager get at FC Barcelona?
Zero. Both of the answer is zero.
How do you expect them to succeed?
Barcelona, right now, for them, like I said, right, the board has to change their outlook. It is not the man. They can change, like I said, they can keep Xavi Hernandez as manager. They can bring Sir Alex Ferguson from retirement, or they can bring Jesus from Bethlehem and manage that club. That is not going to help them. What is going to help them is they should have Joan Laporta to understand that football is much beyond all the things what you're saying and all the things what you're doing. It has to have a structure, and the first structure is to get Barcelona out of this mess ASAP. How do you get rid of the mess? Get rid of deadwood players. Just don't buy players for the sake of it. It's okay even if you stay at 4th, 5th for 2-3 years, it's fine, but just get a rigid system back to the club. Go back to rebuilding.
How do they get rid of deadwood players if they paid so much wages in that term? Because Samuel Umtiti is happy spending life on the bench with that amount of wages.
So what did we do to Chris Smalling? We sold him on a year loan, right? We sold him on year of loan. We said that, you know what, you are not in my plans, but I'm not going to give you wages. Go out, play a year on loan, see if you perform well, and if you like the league, etc., etc., etc. Do that. You can sell Samuel Umtiti to any club in Premier League. Someone like an Everton would be more than happy to take him, because they need centre backs who are fast and quick. But of course, they need to be fit as well. That's a different story. But the fact is that you can always get rid of players on a year-long loan deal so that your wages is split 60-40. Imagine if you're earning a salary of 100,000 a day. When someone says that I'm only going to pay you 60,000, you're like, no, but I have a contract. Okay, fine, I'll pay you 60,000, but 40,000 will be paid by someone else. Right. At least your load on financial basis is reduced.
What we did with Alexis, right? He loved life at Inter, and then he took a pay cut to join.
We paid 50% of Alexis' wages. We paid 50% of Alexis' wages in the first season. The second season, we said to Alexis, "Bhai, tera time khatam ho gaya. Okay, chal nikal ja." And he went.
Because he was happy there.
I think Srijan has commented something very important. He said, tell Laporta to take up financial classes from Perez.
Also, Aman saying that guy on the podcast has such rich knowledge about Manchester United. Hats off. So, Prasant Boy is always up there with his details. So, that's why I bring him on the podcast. And you'll see a lot more of him, which we'll announce soon. Okay, Rakesh says, you can't. He isn't going anywhere. He wants UCL football. I think he's talking about Samuel Umtiti, of course. But then again, Ousmane Dembele, the situation that we were talking about, Barcelona wanted to get rid of him, demanded around 100 million for an injured player.
Correct.
Doesn't start. Like, where is this business ideology coming from? I mean, I'm not an MBA, but it doesn't take that much to address that this is mockery of the entire thing, isn't it?
No, actually, I am an MBA, but I can understand why this logic is coming, but it's stupid logic.
Mhm.
Okay. The fact is, okay, fine, you want 100 million for, let's say, Usman Dembele, so that, you want to
Mhm.
kind of get rid of him. The first thing you need to do is get him fit, play 3-4 league games continuously,
Mhm.
and then try and make other clubs interested. Imagine Manchester United inquired about Usman Dembele because that was their desperation for needing a winger. What
Mhm.
did you do? You did not respond to Man United on time, and United said, you know what, screw you, we'll wait another year for Jadon Sancho. If it was the same United, we might have still pulled the Dembele deal if it was not for deadline day. Okay, I
We
have
wanted him
no
on
doubts
loan.
about it.
We wanted him on loan.
Yeah,
We agreed him on
we
loan.
wanted him on load,
But
and we said we'll
Barcelona
pay 70% of.
wanted the
Yeah, correct.
obligation to buy, right?
Yeah, you
Mhm.
don't do business like that, man. Sometimes you are not in a pole position to sell the player. Anyways, no one wants to buy him.
Exactly. Exactly my
United,
point.
United were going to do you a favor by offering him a chance because everyone said that Ousmane Dembele is a talented winger, French, good player, fast. He's supposed to be a better version of Ballon d'Or winner Anthony Martial, etc., and God knows what not. But yeah, that's the thing with Ousmane Dembele.
Mhm.
I still don't understand why did they sign Eric Garcia. Okay, Eric Garcia hasn't played a minute at Man City properly.
Mhm.
Okay, since the announcement that he's going to Barcelona, Pep Guardiola swiftly benched him. Okay, a player who's not played professional football for quite some time, and then pandemic and stuff happened. You sign him for Barcelona. Yes, young. He's 20 years
Do
old.
you
He's
rate
from
him as a
the.
centre back? Do you rate him as a centre back though?
He's he's average.
He was a defensive midfielder all the way from his academy. As much as I watched him in the City
Yeah.
ranks, then he converted into a defender because they were lacking at
Mm,
this point of time, and there were a lot of players
mm,
injured. He's more of a Martin
mm.
Demichelis kind of a thing where he played centre back at the end of his career, but more of a central defensive midfielder who's slow, who's not
Yeah.
fast, who's slow.
Yeah.
In
And
Barcelona's attacking football, what they want to play, you cannot have a slow defender. They have been suffering because of that. PK is slow. They don't have the legs of a long legs, long lay.
mm.
It's like seriously, isn't it hilarious?
See,
Oh,
see, with I don't know how do I put it across to you in a very mild way and a non-controversial way. Eric Garcia's only rise to fame is that he played in that Man City team. That's it. Is he good enough to play for Barcelona? I really don't think so.
of
Okay,
course,
there
the
are
fact
10.
that he's a La Masia product as well, isn't that
Yeah, and all that,
connected?
and all that,
La Masia, Pep City.
Pep City, all that keyboard warriors kind of favorite agenda to argue on, right? So that's why he was supposed to be going to be successful. Of course not. Sergio Busquets, the octopus of Bardia, as he's famously called as,
Mhm.
that man has lost his peak for quite some time. It's not that he's bad; he's aging. Who do you sign as a replacement? Okay, Frank De Jong is not his role. You signed Panic really, and doing what? Nothing.
Mhm.
Okay, you signed him as a replacement. He's not exactly a replacement for Sergio Busquets, but who do you have as a replacement for Sergio Busquets? Not a single person. Not a single person. You don't have someone who can hold that midfield together. Sergio Roberto was supposed to do that job
Right.
here and there, but then his injury, wasn't the ideal time for him and got injured, etc., etc.
Mhm.
Who the hell is going to play that role, man? I think I have an option, and his name is McTominay. You can take him if you want, but jokes apart, but
He
you
still knew a
haven't.
better performance. We saw how he rattled Vidal, and he was the best United midfielder when we faced Barcelona 2 years back, wasn't he?
See, first and foremost, I'm not going to judge anything basis Manchester United of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Mhm.
Okay, let me be very honest to you. That's because we are a team with a lot of vibes. Nothing to show
Okay,
as a trophy as
Aman
of now.
says that Garcia performance in Euros were decent in some matches, I guess.
Yeah,
What
he
do you
was
make of that?
decent. He was decent. Eric Garcia
Exactly,
was decent.
exactly.
He's decent, but if you're a decent footballer, you play for Granada, you play for Real Sociedad. You are supposed to be good or one of the best in the world if you're playing for Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Right,
You can't be average there. You can't be average. If you're average, then your work rate has to be 10,000 percentage.
right.
You know, if I look at that current Barcelona squad, and let's say that, let's say I want to pick a player who's average, but I know he's going to give me 100% of the time when he plays is Martin Braithwaite.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a matter of fact that Martin Braithwaite is not world class. If I had to put top 10 strikers in world football, I'm never going to put Martin Braithwaite's name. But I at least know for a matter of fact that if he plays as a striker, if the ball is going in 50-50 chances, Martin Braithwaite will push for that run to win the ball.
Right.
But they don't have anyone in that midfield. With Ricky Puig, they're not even playing him. He plays on and off, and sometimes he doesn't even play. Poor guy got injured after exorbitant kind of football in last 2 years, two international tournaments, etc., etc. But it's a disjointed squad, man. It's not a team. It's a squad of 20
Pedri as
players
well.
who are not interested to play.
Pedri as well. They have a lot of young talents. Pedri,
Yeah,
Ansu Fati, Rakesh was commenting about Gavi in the CDM loan. Demir as well coming
yeah.
up. Even they sold back Pjanic to Juventus, so they gave them Arthur. Arthur and Frankie de Jong were supposed to be the next best pivot in.
Yeah,
with-
Arthur Melo, right? Arthur, and they sold him to Juventus for that Miralem Pjanic deal. I really, and what did Barcelona do to Miralem Pjanic? Okay, fine. You know what? ये साल पैसा नहीं हमको देने के लिए, तुम जाओ यार बेसिकटास जाओ, थोड़ा आराम वाराम करो उधर जाके, उधर खेलो जाओ.
Even Arthur is not starting for Juventus. Juventus are a whole other dimension of troubles at this moment of time. They can actually.
Who needs Cristiano Ronaldo?
Who needs Cristiano Ronaldo? 4 points in 4 games and probably below the top 10. Now they'll realize the worth of Cristiano Ronaldo. 36 goals at 36 years of age.
But I think Cristiano Ronaldo is a washed out player. He's totally washed out. He cannot score goals. He only does tap-ins. He can only score penalties.
Tap-ins and not goals.
Yeah, and also apparently Ronaldo has got more goals than Arsenal football team. So, yeah.
Having played one match less.
Yeah, fair.
It's interesting stat. Cristiano was the fastest sprinter in the match versus West Ham, where they had Benrahma, where they had Jared Bowen, Jadon Sancho all playing. Still he was the fastest on the pitch.
I'm shocked we didn't see Fred's name there, but fair.
Okay, Aman says Koeman had some good points to the rise of Araujo, Oscar Mingueza and Pedri. About Araujo, he's playing well. Like, going back with the Eric Garcia thing, isn't this enough proof that playing Araujo week in, week out, when you signed Eric Garcia with all that glitz and the glamour, the way that he came in, isn't it proof that Koeman has zero control on what his club will bring him?
See, I've been bashing Koeman for some time. Let me be sympathetic towards him for some time. Okay.
All right.
The reason why I'm being sympathetic towards him is that, see, it's a club which is his dream club to manage. Let's not kid it. We always knew that Ronald Koeman would one day come back to manage Barcelona, but no one thought that he would come back at such a time when Barcelona are in such a disarray.
Right.
Everyone thought that he would have come after Rijkaard had just gone. No one thought Pep Guardiola was going to take place. Everyone thought that, okay, fine, you know what? He was doing half a decent job at Eindhoven back then, or Benfica when Koeman was managing there, etc. And everyone thought, fine, yeah, this guy can manage. But right now, Koeman is in a situation which I think no one in world football has actually imagined Barcelona to be in a situation. Now, regarding players coming for which he has no control over, right? What do you expect him to do? He's tried everything possible. It's not working out. He's always going to do something which other people are not doing, which is to pull a rabbit out of a hat. He can't do it.
Right.
He's just trying and testing his instinct, saying that maybe this will work out. Maybe this will work out. But he's trying to play multiple options, but nothing is clicking.
It's been banters all around playing Jordi Alba with that fever. People are sympathetic to Jordi Alba, and kudos to Jordi Alba for actually having that mental strength to take the decision, putting the club ahead of himself, beg your pardon. But as a renowned coach with an expert, as a renowned player, why does even the medical staff can give him the clearance? Because he has fever with all the COVID protocols. Shouldn't he have been tested and resting?
There are things which I really respect Jordi Alba for. Okay. Like he's 100% committed.
Right.
He'll just keep running here and there. He'll not stop. He's very tenacious as a fullback. He's one of those fullbacks. Sometimes I wish at United, okay, fine, he could have been a Patrice Evra replacement. That kind of a football. And there are instances with football club at Barcelona when I look at Jordi Alba, I'm like, you can't forget to defend. You can attack, good, but you can't forget to defend. Now, if you look at the whole scenario, yes, you are right. They're unlike IPL, right? They're not moving from bubble to bubble.
Right.
Okay, these players are allowed to go back home. The players are allowed to socialize, but to a certain extent, not like you and me who can party whenever we want, but we don't. But they're supposed to be responsible. Okay, fine, no jokes. I haven't partied for quite some time, so yeah.
My financials
But
are
yeah.
worse than Barcelona, if that's putting it lightly. But anyways, partying is out of the
Yeah,
question. Anyways, go on.
yeah, that is
Mm.
only done by Fred, who's having hamburgers for lunch and dinner. But jokes apart,
It's taken off Luke Shaw's meals. Come on.
yeah, fair.
Yeah, go on.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. What I'm trying to tell you is that I honestly don't understand the structure, what's happening in and around the entire football club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I really have no idea about the structure. When I say no idea about the structure, I do know for a matter of fact that whatever John Laporta says happens.
Right.
Whatever he says.
Right.
Okay. But on the other side, there is Florentino Perez. Whatever he says, it happens in La Liga. There's a difference in what I'm saying, right? When whatever John Laporta says, it happens at Barcelona. Whatever Perez says, it happens in La Liga. Okay. They actually don't have a leader. And if you don't have a leader, Neil, you are
Mm-hmm.
always going to have every small problem raised to the size of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The club does not have any leader. Right from transfer market to managing players to managing agents to managing coach, Barcelona don't have a structure. So all the issue aside of Jordi Alba to Messi to PK, to Busquets taking pay cuts, there is no structure. And if you have no structure, you and me can debate on this for hours and hours. I will keep telling you the same thing, that no structure, no point of discussion, because there's no one who knows how to handle this.
Even on the pay cut subject, I saw a lot of
Yeah.
hate and negativity towards a lot of players not taking the pay cut. But trust me, if you know you and me were employed, would we take a pay cut just for the sake of it? Would that's
Okay,
not a professional.
let me reframe. Let me reframe. I am employed. Okay. Please, COVID has been very hard on me. I need my job. But I wouldn't take a pay cut. Why
Mhm.
should I take a pay
Exactly.
cut? Okay. Why should I? And when you sign a player on a 5-year contract, it's a promise, right? That you're going to pay him wages. Yes, COVID is a pandemic which no one saw. Supporters didn't turn up to the club, so there was loss of revenue, etc., etc. It's a choice. I don't know how much cricket you watch. If the ball hits the batsman
Mhm.
and the umpire gives not out, not everyone is a walker. Some people walk because they have a conscience. Some people
Right.
say, I am still by the rules, right? Umpire didn't give me out.
Mhm.
You didn't appeal, or you
Even
appeal,
even
umpire didn't give
even
out.
mankading, some accept, some don't.
Yeah, even mankading to a certain extent. It's a call on ethics, and I don't think you and me can actually take a call on it.
Mhm.
And fans who actually are bashing the players that, oh my God, you didn't take a pay cut, etc., etc. Excuse me, it's their hard-earned money. They train, they sacrifice so much things over the week, and especially in pandemic, it is even harder for athletes because things are not as easy what it used to be for most players. So yes, everyone wants money to a certain extent. And money is financial security, so it's their call. If you are going to judge a player by saying that, okay, he didn't take a pay cut, hence he's not passionate about the club, no, that's a very stupid metric to do.
Really, because footballers' careers are very short. They have just
Yes,
around 10-15 years at most at top level players to earn their probably 70 years worth of income. So why would anyone take
yes,
a pay cut?
yeah, and there are some people who do it by ethics. There are a lot of people who do it by choice. It all depends upon them.
All in shambles because this thing did not need to be publicized. My motto is being that this thing
Mm,
absolutely needed to be kept under wraps, but it was publicized as heck. Club play got behind the management, bashed the players. Everything is at a disarray at this point of time, and that
yeah.
reflects the performance on the pitch. When your base is not stable, you cannot expect results on the pitch, can you?
Okay, let me ask you this question in another manner.
All
Okay,
right.
let me rephrase it for you. Let me see what is your take on it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got what he wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's agree to a certain extent. Out of the playing 11,
Mm-hmm.
8 are his signings. Okay,
Right.
do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
no?
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. He's not the greatest manager tactically. He's a good man manager, but he's improving,
Yes.
right? Okay. He hasn't got a trophy to show for his name as of now. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that he's not trying. Maybe the quality of oppositions every time he has faced versus Jose Mourinho is very different,
Mm-hmm.
but he's trying.
Right.
Fair.
Right.
If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't win a trophy this season, does he get the sack or not?
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Now reverse the same situation with Ronald Koeman or any manager at Barcelona. he has not got the players what he wanted. He hasn't got the support what he wanted. Unlike a certain Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to a certain extent, he hasn't got anything what Barcelona as a football club has traditionally provided to most managers, which is security, which is comfort, and most importantly, trust.
Right.
Okay, that hasn't been provided. How do you expect a manager who is scared of losing his job to perform to optimum levels?
I have no answer to that.
Are you trying to say to me that if Ronald Koeman wins a La Liga this year, hypothetically, if Ronald Koeman wins a La Liga this year and next year if Pep Guardiola is available, Barcelona will not go and sign him?
100% they will. The same happened with Louis van Gaal over Jose Mourinho's availability.
Precisely the point. I was about to say that to you. That's exactly what is going to happen next year, or even this year. As a matter of fact, if someone better is available, Barcelona will pull the plug on Ronald Koeman. That's a fact. And if you have a manager who is not trustworthy, right? If you don't have that much trust on the manager, then of course the manager will show his colors one day or the other.
Absolutely. Talent of Frankie de Jong is being wasted at Barcelona. Absolutely. Send him to United. We're waiting for that. Frankie de Jong, a bit off topic. Frankie de Jong, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba. Wins the treble?
No comments. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager, no.
All right. But Anthony Martial will win the Ballon d'Or. You guys can stay tuned to us. Banters aside, this has been a very informative session with all the history books and going all the way back towards 1984 and even beyond that for some extent. But then again, the problem at FC Barcelona, no matter how much we discuss into that, there seems to be no solution. Srijan says Pedri to Madrid. Sab apne dhanda leke aa gaye yaar. Barcelona is like...
Yahan pe na, someone in the comments said, name a player who has been a world-class defender by the time who was 20. Do you remember any player who was 20 and he was a world-class defender? I can remember 3.
Srijan already said Varane. I'm assuming he'll not say Phil Jones, of course.
No, of course not.
Who are the other
world-class when he was 20?
Who are the other 2?
Okay, one is Rio Ferdinand.
Yes, I'll agree.
Okay, do you agree?
100%. Who won't?
Okay. He was already world-class when he was just about to leave West Ham. Okay.
Right.
Another player, probably one of the most unluckiest players in world football, is Mats Hummels. Okay. Then there is Thiago Silva. I am not even going into that array of defenders. Thiago Silva was world class pretty early in his life. He straight away went to AC Milan and then rest is history. Yeah, Barcelona wanted to sign him. He dumped them for.
Thiago Silva issue is that he came to fame when he was 26. A lot of injuries when he was playing. Went there, that.
In his 20, fair, because when he was at Porto, he was at Porto. He was good, but he was injured.
Right.
So yeah, fair. But that's why I said I'll not put in the same category. But yeah, Rio Ferdinand was world class. Rafael Varane was world class at 20. You got to be bloody good if you are going to replace Pepe and Ramos's partnership in between, man.
Okay, Sneak Donil says.
But I'll not count Phil Jones out. So.
No, he was a very, jokes aside, he's a very good defender.
He was. You are special if you mark Cristiano Ronaldo at Bernabeu.
You marked him out of there playing right back, not his position. Yeah. He played a lot of position, right back, centre back.
He scored the goal, and he scored the goal from Evra's side, not from Phil Jones's side.
It's pretty. There's the reason we pulled the plug on the Varane deal. Like he revealed that he said that they were buying Phil Jones at that point of time, and now they're teammates.
Correct.
Unfortunately, so he did not want to go into that because Phil Jones clearly playing in the Premier League and commanding the Blackburn defense at his tender age. He's already captain.
18. He was 18.
He's one of those, like being compared to Sir Duncan Edwards by Sir Alex Ferguson. Is no joke. No joke. Absolutely no joke.
But then things didn't work out.
That's life. Okay, Snake
like a lot of you.
Snake Dalil says they lack creativity in their midfield. Why not Coutinho? I think Coutinho is injured. I don't know why, but I think he's injured.
My question is why Coutinho? Why? Bhai niklo uske aage jao.
I don't know where this is going. I think we'll draw this discussion to an end because there will be no end, because something or the other keeps popping up and some fans in denial, some fans restless. Like we all are restless. You want to see success, of course, but you do definitely need a rebuilding time. It's not that easy like clockworks rebuilding a club of that stature where you don't get any patience. Manchester United were patient. There were so many times when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could have been sacked, but they stuck with him. And
No
maybe
comments.
there is progress. I know you disagree about some things, about what I agree, but then again, we both want the betterment of Manchester United.
Correct.
If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer succeeds, I think nobody else will be happier than you'll
Yes,
gladly
of
eat your
course.
words. 100%.
Hands down, and as a fan, I have every right to criticize and I have every
Absolutely.
right to not believe in everything what everyone says.
True.
It's my personal belief that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won't win anything with Man United. But having said that, there are a lot of people who are very positive about it, and and I completely agree to it. I spoke to this guy called as Peter Molyneux before I came to Ireland. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the guy who famously held the banner "Tara Fergie, it's time to say goodbye"?
Yes,
I had the chance to interview him for a podcast,
in
and he said to me that
92,
91 92
92,
92
yes.
season,
Yes.
before Fergie won his first FA Cup. And he said that if ever in life I had 30 years of my life to go back, and if someone asked me would I ever change that incident, he said no, I wouldn't, because I did what I believed was right for my
True.
club. I believe that Sir Alex Ferguson would not win any trophy for Man United, but it's fine. It was my opinion, and the man went on and proved everyone else wrong. Not only me, even the person who hired him. They thought that, हाँ ठीक है, 5 साल आएगा, 1-2 जीतेंगे, चला जाएगा Ferguson, because he's too good. But he stayed here for 25 years. That shows volume. And as a fan, I have every right to criticize. So do you. But it's just that if I don't agree to what you are saying, I'll not go to Facebook and start taking digs at multiple people. You don't agree with me, it's fine by me. I mean, okay, it's fine. You can have your good night's sleep, and I can sleep perfectly. Just like how Jose Mourinho said, I have no issues in sleeping.
All right, quick question from Aman Angsuman. Dada, thank you so much for joining in. Do subscribe to his channel as well. He's doing pretty good, the United Road. Aman says, let go of the topic before, but please tell me about Brian Robson. I think...
Is he asking Bobby Robson?
Okay, he's asking about Bobby Robson. They are two different entities. Which one are you asking, Aman? Brian Robson, or because he was called Bobby as well?
Yeah.
So which... Bobby Robson or Brian Robson? Sir Bobby Robson or Brian Robson? Which one?
Actually, it's actually Sir Bobby Robson. I completely forgot that.
Yes. Sir Bobby Robson or Brian Robson? Aman, which one? We are waiting for you.
हाँ भाई, sorry, बाद में बोल देना.
Which
Koeman
one?
आज तक नहीं बोला, sorry.
Oh God. Which one, Aman? Brian Robson, the player.
Brian Robson. So Brian Robson was okay. So United most successful captain before Roy Keane was Brian Robson. We used to call him Captain Marvel because there was nothing which Brian Robson couldn't do. So Brian Robson famously actually started his career at West Bromwich Albion. We signed him from West Bromwich Albion in the 81 or 82 window, something around that. Back then, it was a British record fee.
Yes.
We signed him for some 1.52 million in 81, 82.
That made headlines at that point of time.
Yeah, that made headlines. Everyone was like, who are you signing? This guy is a midfielder who runs here and there everywhere, but does not have a position of his own. But that's exactly what helped United, because he ran everywhere. So he covered every blade of the grass and he ran behind every ball. And not to forget that, right? He wasn't the greatest of goal scorers, but he was so physical in his game that he would take 3-4 men on him, and the strikers used to always be free, and that's what he famously did. And he used
his late runs into the box against Barcelona.
Yes, his late runs into the box. Exactly. He scored the most iconic goal in the Super Cup against Barcelona. He scored that goal. He was always a boyhood Middlesbrough fan. So after in 1994, I think, when he said that, I don't think I have enough in me to play for United. And when United offered him a 2-year contract, he said, no, I don't think I'm still good enough to play for Manchester United anymore. I want to go out. He went and joined his boyhood club, which is Middlesbrough, for which he later became manager also. He managed them for 3-4 years, went down in relegation, championship, etc., managed. But yeah, Brian Robson is one of the most important people in our life. He was facing cancer. He went through a throat surgery in 2012 or 2013, something like that. So yeah, so he's probably the most iconic legends. And even today, right, he's a global ambassador for Manchester United Football Club. So all the global ambassador thing you see in Asia, mostly in APAC market and Australia, you'll always see Brian Robson there. He managed Thailand national team also for brief period. But
also, not to forget that United were not the very best of clubs at that point of time under Ron Atkinson, if I believe was the manager back then.
Correct.
Brian Robson was shining above, head and shoulders above everybody else. He's the player that everybody looked up to in that Manchester United squad. The class of '92 was especially groomed by Brian Robson. If you remember that Giggs quote,
Yeah.
he's like, Robbo, they're tackling me when Giggs was initially coming on. He said, you just play midfield once. I'll go left.
I'll go on the left side. Yeah.
I'll go teach them a lesson, and then you can play free. And Giggs was like, after 10 minutes, just switching back there. He used to play 4-4-2 a lot. So he's like, no, my life was easier. That kind of a personality.
Even very few people know that there was a reason why he was called as Captain Marvel, because I think in the 83-84 World Cup qualification England beat England beat Turkey at Istanbul 8-0. Okay, and it was Brian Robson who actually ran the midfield. And because of that particular match, right, England were able to qualify for the 1986 World Cup, which was being held in Mexico. And the manager was Bobby Robson, and that's when he said, there is nothing which Brian Robson can't do in midfield of football. That's why they named him Captain Marvel. And since he was the captain of England national team, so that's how the name came. So Marvelous Brian Robson came to Captain Marvel.
Absolutely. So for a lot of our young supporters who don't know how he played, like one player from the recent generations you compare him with? Post 2010, let's say. I have got a lot of young subscribers.
So the closest I have seen someone who actually do that kind of a job.
It's difficult.
I would hate to say this player's name, but it is Arturo Vidal. But when Vidal was really good, okay, not like the crazy Vidal, but Arturo Vidal was crazy good. He used to play somewhat like Brian Robson. He used to run, he used to tackle, he used to win balls, score that long ranger.
The Bayern Leverkusen Arturo Vidal, to be precise.
The Bayern Leverkusen, spot on, man. The Bayern Leverkusen Arturo Vidal, when where it was difficult for that entire midfield to pass through. Remember, even when Andrea Pirlo shined, it was the hard work of Arturo Vidal and Claudio Marchisio, because of which Andrea Pirlo could shine. And that's exactly how United was set up. And Brian Robson was that. And that's only one player who I think is ever closest. But in modern day football, if there's one footballer who I'm really a fan, who I think can do wonders if he goes to the right club, is Thomas Partey. You don't find intelligent footballers like him, but yeah, he's injured and he plays for Arsenal, some small club in England. So
not even the best
relegation battlers.
We have to banter on Arsenal, of course.
On Arsenal? Oh yeah, of course. But there is an interesting question also. Someone asked in the comment, who do you think will be sacked first, Arteta or Koeman? I really think it's Koeman, not Arteta. Arteta will never be sacked. She should not be sacked.
But keyboard warriors say that he has won a trophy.
Yeah. He can polish that trophy and shove it somewhere else, but that's fine by me. But yeah, he's better than Ole. He's better than Tuchel. He's better than Pep. Arteta is the best. Arsenal, please don't sack him. We don't want to see another competitive manager in Premier League.
That was brutal. All right, that was a pretty amazing session. We planned for half an hour. It's almost 1 hour. Prashant Bhau, you have got all the praise, and rightfully so. I've learned so much from you right when I started my first podcast in another channel, and this partnership has gone so long, and we'll see a lot of interesting partnerships coming up. We'll announce very soon. Prashant Bhau is indeed a part of that, and thank you again for educating me, for teaching me. I learned a lot of speaking skills from him, as you can understand from his vocabulary. I learned a lot from him. He's been with me, very honestly, just not for the sake of it, but throughout the pandemic. I always used to have conversations with him, used to always encourage me, always give me pointers how to increase, how to improve on my channel, and I'm indebted to you all for that. And let's hope with this journey.
Please pay me for that advertisement, please.
One day, sure, money is something which is irrelevant when it comes to relationships. I'm
sorry, I'm a United fan. Only money understands. Everyone plays for United only for money, like Paul Pogba.
who might just sign a new contract. You never know.
Bullshit.
He will. Trust me on this. You heard it first. He will sign a contract. Where the hell, like you recently said, who the hell is going to pay bloody 450k a week to Paul Pogba? Who plays right now? He's the form of his life. For the last 3 years, we turned up once in a blue moon. Who the hell is going to pay 450k a week? Juventus. They struggle to sign Locatelli for the sake of it. Barcelona, Please, out of the question. Real Madrid, they've signed.
I think Barcelona first, before signing anyone, no, they have to first pay the electricity bill of the stadium. Let Aguero train. उसके बाद player खरीदो. पहले तुम stadium बनाओ, बचाओ stadium
So
को.
that is the reason, guys. This is uncovered over here when Sergio Aguero said that I went out at Man City 1.5 hours before and everybody was training. At Barcelona, I come half an hour early. Nobody is there. The shops are closed because of electricity bill, guys. That is the reason. This is uncovered. It's trademark. It's copyright material.
I'm not making it up. He said that in an interview. Probably United are a small club. They don't have money and all that. So yeah, I understand.
Not the electricity part, though. Don't quote us on that. But definitely he said that. Prasad, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on. We'll be seeing you very soon. United face West Ham again next term. Let's see if I can do the watch along because tomorrow. Let's see if I can do the watch along because I have to go to the hospital for one wee bit of surgery again. They put the stent and they have to take it out. So it's not like Arteta, they put something in and not take it out.
Very wrong, but
as I said, it's not like Arteta. You put something in and forget to take it out and let it go on for like God knows when. But then again, thank you so much.
But they enjoy sodoism, so yeah, it's okay.
You're becoming brutal, man. You're becoming brutal. All right, that's pretty much about it. Thank you for coming.
No problem, man. Bye.
It's like it's just one thing. It's like I don't want to name the player. It's like you want to push him out, but he's no, I'm still here. Maybe rings a bell with a few Barcelona players. I don't know. Not getting into any controversy.
मतलब जाओ यार जल्दी चले जाओ, but कोई तो ले लो उसको.
Oh my God! Oh my umtiti is. Oh anyway, no coincidence there. Bao, thank you so much. Bye bye now.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye. That was Prasad Bao with his immense plethora of knowledge. It seems to least the wonderful guy. It teaches me a lot. Absolutely, you get to learn a lot of football heritage, as Jose Mourinho said, from that guy. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for tuning in. Do keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you want to donate to the channel, you can donate to these numbers below. If you donate anything over 3 figures, I'll donate to FC Barcelona. I promise that on screen live. Banter aside, I'm sure you keep enjoying the comments. Do share, do subscribe, do like all the videos. And with that, I'll, let's say, not bore you any further. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be able to make a show because I have to sleep early. It's a football match. I'll F the surgeries and whatnot. But then again, health does come first. Thank you all of you guys for all your warm wishes last time. I couldn't be more proud of my subscribers, my family, as I like to say. It is absolutely immense to have all of you on board. Srijan says, give me the red cap. No, this is mine. Hair fall is a bitch. So this is a style I invented. Anyways, thank you so much. This is your boy Neil with a fantastic discussion tonight. Hope to see you very, very soon. Bye-bye for now. Cheers. Keep rocking that smile on your face. Bye-bye.